So you're having a gala and you're shopping for a backdrop to create a great night. You've got a few goals in mind, right? You want to find something that's going to best represent your sponsors. Ideally, you want to promote more awareness around your cause, your charity, the event itself. You want to create great photo opportunities for your guests. They're going to be possibly dressed up, and so you want to get some good photos, and you want to promote social sharing. We get it. You've got to do all that, but you also want to keep it on a budget because possibly you're a charity, fundraiser, not-for-profit. I'm going to share in this little video a few ideas, a few tips, tricks, things to watch out for when you're shopping for a step and repeat. So the first thing to keep in mind is that there's three key areas, there's three key goals that really you want to focus on. Maybe we could call it three areas of focus. So the first one is the actual product itself. So the backdrop, which is the printing or the frame. The second one is how it can help facilitate the goals or help you achieve your ROI. And the third one is choosing the right supplier for the event. So the first thing is talking about the backdrop. So this one behind me here is printed on a matte fabric. And as you can see, it's a really flat, nice finish with no glare from light, and it looks great. So the key differences are that there's fabric and there's vinyl. Now, some suppliers say that vinyl is glare-free, but it's not 100% glare-free. We have vinyl as well, and it is a matte finish, but you can get a little bit of glare. Now, what that's going to mean is if you have glare from your photographer, when it reflects, you'll get these white spots that will show up in your photos, and they don't really look that great, especially to the brands or your sponsors that want to show up in those photos. It can be a little disappointing if they see those photos online and all of a sudden it's got these white blotches on it and their logos aren't even showing up properly. The other thing is that the fabric, it folds up nice and small and it's portable, where the vinyl has to come rolled because you can't, if you fold it, you'll get wrinkles and creases in it. So it comes rolled in these long tubes and you have to store it and manage it and deal with it in that way. So we highly recommend, if you can, to go with fabric. Generally, there's a couple options of fabric, like a long-term dye sub durable, which is this one, or another that looks very similar that's a short-term, more economical use if you're only using it for the one night. Now, as far as the frame goes, this is a bigger deal. So the frame itself, we recommend using a frame that doesn't require tools. Now, we used to have, and there still are some frames out there that you actually have to screw together. The pieces thread together and you need a screwdriver to put pieces on. And what we found over time was that last minute setting up at your event, you're on site, you don't want to be dealing with trying to put these pieces together, or you've got somebody else that's on the team that's trying to do it and a screw strips or a piece doesn't work right and you're frustrated. And we dealt with that years ago, and then we just stopped selling them. They are available and they are cheap, but we recommend being careful and knowing what you're buying. We recommend to use a frame that is sturdy and durable and is completely hidden behind the print, but also doesn't require any tools. And that's like this one that that's behind this print is an expandable frame, doesn't require any tools to set up. So you really want to take into consideration those pieces. Now, the frame that you get, you could also consider, can that frame be reused for future events? So in this case, you could actually remove this fabric print and you could put a new one on just with Velcro. It just pulls off and the next one goes on, no big deal. And so although you invest maybe 1 year, year after year to be a lower price, and you'll still get that great result just by replacing the print. So that's the few key details of the product itself. Now next is how to achieve your goals. So a lot of charities, a lot of people that are organizing charities really take advantage of the backdrop as a way to help achieve more ROI. So for example, one thing that they'll do is they'll negotiate with sponsors that it's a higher tier in order to have their logo on the step and repeat. Now maybe you're already doing that and it's not groundbreaking, but what I think is really interesting is to negotiate that there'll be a sponsor for multiple years to be on the backdrop. That's kind of a neat tip. The other thing is you want to get social sharing ROI. So maybe you're going to have 100 or 200 or 300 guests at your event. And even if you're going to have a photographer, what's going to happen is they're going to step up, your guests, and they're going to get their photo done, and then they're going to take their phone out and they're going to say, hey, can you take a photo with our phone? Or they're going to do a selfie. Now, why does this matter to you? When they go home and they start sharing on social media, you want them to be sharing and tagging your maybe your website or your hashtag or your Facebook group. And if you don't have those things, we'd urge you to definitely consider getting them, because if you promote those people sharing the cause, you're more likely to reach now that 1, 2, 300 people can each reach 10, 20, 30, 40, maybe even 100 people themselves. And now it turns into thousands of people that are aware. Now, if you leverage this properly, you can also promote and encourage donations online after the event. So other people that can show off that were saying, hey, we were here supporting this cause, we were here at this fundraiser, at this gala, and then others can see that and also donate. And we've seen some charities, some not-for-profits have great success in promoting in this way and get way more in donations after the event, just because they started to use the social media, the viral leverage of the audience. Now, the best way to achieve this, though, is by having a small sign at the front of your red carpet that encourages people to use the hashtag, to link to the website, to use a specific comment. In some cases, we do the little photo frame, and it's got the name and the hashtag on it, and they can hold the photo frame up. That's your choice. Either of those are very inexpensive. The small sign on the easel, I believe, is $99, and for that, to be able to reach thousands of more people and possibly see that much more for donation, I mean, that's a phenomenal, inexpensive way to do that, and can make your night 2, 3, 4, 5 times more successful. One of the other interesting things you can do is on the very end of the backdrop itself is what we call an end cap. And so the end cap is a part that your guests can see, but is not on the face of the print. So it won't show up in the photo, but you can have additional branding on the side or an additional message over here so that your guests are able to see that, which is a neat way to get some additional leverage. Or if you want to promote that out to one of your sponsors, you could actually sell this advertising space on the side at a higher price to be able to see more revenue. Now, the third key point I want to talk about is choosing the right supplier. So oftentimes people think all suppliers are the same, but they're not. And we get calls all the time of people that tried to find a cheaper option or buy with somebody they thought was going to work out, and now it's last minute and it's not working out, and they're stressed and frustrated, and it just turns into a nightmare. So the key questions that we urge you to ask is, one, are they actually printing in North America? Because commonly we see that some suppliers are sending out to China, India, Philippines to get their printing done, and then it comes back. And that poses a couple problems. One, it may not arrive on time. And two, the colors may not look quite right when it shows up. And that can oftentimes be a big deal, especially for your charity, for your fundraiser, but also for your brands, for the sponsors. They want to make sure their stuff looks good. Now, to take that a step further is to ask your supplier, your potential supplier, what are they going to do if it arrives and if either it doesn't arrive on time or if it arrives and it doesn't look right. And you want to find the fine print, because sometimes the suppliers will actually say on their websites that they have no guarantees. They don't guarantee, and they'll say what it looks like on your monitor may be different from what it looks like when it arrives in person. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't really want to receive this product that's a make or break for my event, and all of a sudden it doesn't look right, and the supplier is saying, well, that's your own problem, go deal with it. So at Kick-Ass Media, what we do is we fully guarantee everything. If it arrives and if the color is wrong, if anything's off, we will completely reprint it, no charge, no problem, no questions asked. We have a love it guarantee. It's exclusive. We're one of the only companies that offer it, and we're really proud because it allows customers to buy from us with no risk, and it just pushes us to raise our bar of the standards of what we allow to go out the door. The second thing is you want to ask about what are their warranties long term. So if you want to buy something you can reuse over and over and over, because I get it, you're a charity or not for profit, you always have to be watching your funds, you have to keep an eye on the budget. And so obviously if you can buy something that you can reuse next year, but what is the warranty? And so some companies may warranty for 30 days, 90 days, maybe a year, maybe not at all. You want to find out, and what does that mean? Are they going to take care of it? Will they charge you? How will that work? So again, we offer a exclusive lifetime warranty on our backdrop hardware, which means that no matter what happens, you could break it, somebody on your team, you could be shipping it, you could be storing it, you could break a piece, the Velcro could come off, whatever it is, for the lifetime that you have the backdrop, we take care of it, no questions asked, fully handled, whatever needs to be done. So we think that this should be a great experience for you, and this is a really important project. And Our thing is we want to build a lifetime relationship where we're helping you achieve your goals, but you're also being able to work with somebody that you can have confidence in and trust. So I hope those few key tips help you when thinking about the backdrop, thinking about achieving your goals, and thinking about choosing the right supplier. If you want to talk to our team and find out about more options, because the other thing that I didn't mention about the backdrop is there are a lot of sizes and heights and widths of different backdrops, and it's all about finding the right one for your fit. So they go all the way down to 5 foot wide, 8 foot high. They can go 10 foot high. They can go 50 foot long. It's all different sizes and there's different materials. So it's really about having a conversation to find the right one that suits your venue, your location, your goals, and your budget. So I'd encourage, give a call to our team, and they can have no obligation, no problem, have a conversation, and we can make recommendations based on what you're trying to achieve and help you have a great event.